Hello.
Hey.
Let me pull up your latest.
Perfect. I'm gonna do it too. Okay, so did you look at this one at all yet?
A little bit.
Okay, so like the one that I just sent you, the only thing I really changed were those 13 steps. I know that I need to.
We'll go through it right now. Okay, so can you see it?
Yes.
So view. All right. Okay, so when not when you not I'm not worried about it right now, but you see when this hyperlink,
Yeah.
you know how to get rid of them?
No, I couldn't.
Watch. Right click on the hyperlink, go to hyperlink, and then go remove.
Perfect. Cool.
It didn't go anywhere.
Oh, see, okay, maybe.
That's weird.
Yeah, I remember
B.
trying, but I couldn't figure it out.
That's it right there.
Okay, cool.
You see what I did?
Wait, did you click?
I took out I did the right click and then I took out the hyperlink, but it didn't take it out. All I did was highlight it and I changed the font color to black.
Okay, cool.
Now the only way you get caught is if somebody goes and tries to, let's see, it won't click. So the blue stayed. I took out the blue and I took out the hyperlink. Okay. So when you right click, if the hyperlink is active, when you go down to hyperlink, you just click on it'll give you it'll give you something like this, but it'll say remove. But if it doesn't take the blue out, just highlight it and change the writing to black.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We've already done all this. I don't have to do it again. You copied and pasted this in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You see how it has that gray on the background?
Yes.
Okay. So when you go to copy it in, I'm not going to stress about it. When you copy it in, so let's say it. I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to do it on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay. And see that right there? See this little thing at the bottom here?
Yeah.
Drop it down. Keep text only.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Now, what it will do is it will move everything together, so you have to go back and indent.
Yeah.
And then you have to fix this.
Okay.
But that's how you get rid of it.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're getting a whole bunch of tricks.
I know, seriously.
Okay. So when you go to do your actual IRB, when you read these 5 little statements here,
yes.
Do you believe that's enough?
I mean, I feel like Like for me, like I mean, like you could always go in more detail, I guess, but I'm just not quite sure like if there's any like key things missing or like how much is like really wanted.
Okay. Remember, just like we're doing right now,
Uh-huh.
your IRB is going to come back just like it's just going to give you edits. Now, it depends on who you get. Might get a person that's going to give you a ton of information. Might give somebody that says, fix this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fix this means that they don't want to do their job. Okay. They're not, just like I told you guys at the beginning, I'm not here to fail you. I'm here to give you an A.
Mm-hmm.
The road that you take gives you your grade. You're on track for the A. A lot of other people are on track for the F. It's that simple. You've gone overboard, haven't you? Okay? That gives you the A. But when it comes time to really do this or take this and take it in there, you're going to be light years ahead of somebody that's never done it before.
Yeah.
Okay? And the same idea here is that you can never give the IRB committee too much.
Okay.
If you do give them too much, they're going to tell you to take it out.
Yeah.
Remember, it's always easy to take money out of the bank than it is to put money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because once you're done with it and you feel like it's ready, when it goes to IRB and you get it back and they go, blah, 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 the first thing you say is, oh, man, why do they need that? Because, again, you're feeding the beast. I thought I'd never say that again in my entire life after it was told to me, you have to feed the beast. Keep the beast happy and everything's fine. Okay? If you fight the beast and don't want to give them the extra food, then the beast just keeps going back and forth, and that's why people sit in IRB. Okay, so you're recruiting participants in the cafeteria on her college campus. Perfect. Okay? Qualifying the participant. How are you qualifying the participant?
So you want me to give like?
No. You tell me.
Oh,
How
so
are you qualifying it?
Runs regularly, 18 to 24.
Okay. How? I mean, how are you going to do that? Are you going to ask?
Yeah, like would that just be part
See
of
what I'm saying?
Okay.
Qualify the participant by asking the qualifying participant questions. You don't have to give them what they are. You've already done that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The next one down here, present the consent form. What has to happen before that? Once you qualify the participants, you're going to then what? Say, do you want to participate in the survey?
Okay, so
that's kind of like another It's kind of like another qualification, because you're going to say you're going to recruit them. Now you're going to qualify the participant by asking the questions. Now your next step is, would you like to participate? You're going to ask the participant if they'd like to participate in the survey. Okay. Now, the next step after that, again, is the consent form. Okay. Present consent form. So you're just going to present it to them and that's it? No, they're going to present it. They're going to read it and then sign.
Okay.
Okay. See how you've changed it to, it should be exact. Now, understand this portion of it, when you go to actually do it, it may not pop out in this order.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just your guideline.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what are you doing next? Conducting the interview, or are you doing your demographic survey?
So then demographic survey and then ask interview questions.
Right. So you're going to do your demographic survey, which is another qualification. So if I say, yeah, I run, and I go down and I write down, I don't run on there, you would then, of course, without putting in there, you would say, but you just told me you run, but you say you don't run regularly here. Because what happens is that could blow up your whole thing, because when you go to do your numbers, when you run those demographics, if those demographics don't match up, then it would get kicked back. Because they don't match up. So you would take that right before you do it. You take it and you look for those qualifying things. The age is right. They run regularly, and this. Because some people just like to be in surveys. that doesn't help you when you're sitting there in the middle of the night trying to type this up and go, oh my gosh, 4 people said they only run once a week.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is another qualifying. So, you know, that demographic is to qualify. Okay. Now conduct the interview and record it. So you're going to take out record it. Okay. And that's going to be its own. Start the tape recorder. Ask the interview questions.
Okay.
Okay.
So, wait, so it'll do consent form, have them sign consent form, start tape recording, ask demographics,
Do consent form and then demographic survey.
and then tape recorder, then
Start the tape recorder.
okay.
Ask interview questions. Thank the participants for their time.
Okay.
You see how we moved it to what it probably will look like when you go to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. This was all good. The only thing I need you to go back and fix is this. It can't be Percy.
Wait, yeah, what reference were you talking about?
Okay. You see where it says the primary researcher will have purposeful sampling? Did you find that in Percy?
I don't know. I just remember that I was supposed to add
Yeah.
in there, but I couldn't. Or do I just take it out completely?
No.
It's not in Percy.
Nope.
What other article did we use?
Don't. It's the textbook I told you to download at the beginning of the semester.
Okay.
Hold on, where did it go? I think that's how you spell it. Page, whatever page this is. 178. Did you download the book?
Yeah, I have it actually.
Page 178. It's right there.
Okay, cool.
Okay. You're also you need another citation for the 15 to 25.
Wait, but I didn't get that from anyone. I just made that up.
Okay, so let me break this down to you.
Okay.
You see that pretty little head of yours?
Mm-hmm.
If you tried to do 25 interviews, your head would explode.
Yeah.
Literally. It's 10 to 15.
Oh, okay.
Because imagine, that's 25 hours minimum of interviews on the same subject. So understand how this works. Different than doing a survey. If I'm doing a survey, passing something out to 1,000 people is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I'm going to do an interview and I do 25 interviews, at what point do you believe that I'm going to hear the same thing?
Yeah.
So think of it this way. It's between 10 and 15. So you need to change it to 10 to 15.
And then
you need to have a citation that goes with that, a why. You got to tell people why. So going back to here. Let's see if the number 10 comes up. It says accused. It says accused. Slow down. Slow down. Move my hands from this.
Are you on the textbook right now?
Oh.
Okay, I just can't see it.
But because we're on Zoom, it's a little slower.
Yeah.
And it bounces around. Trying to be very gentle right now. There we go. Let's do this. Okay, that was probably got participants. All right, it's got to be here somewhere. So yeah, you need to come up with a quote. You can also look in, just go to the library and put in qualitative research.
Yeah, and find
one of the textbooks in there, and you're looking for a book that's going to tell you between 10. It's going to tell you why. Bottom line is that you're looking for saturation. Saturation can come as little as 7, 8, 9. Mine was 11. I got to the same point I started hearing all the same stuff. The difference between the survey and the qualitative is that the survey, the themes are built beforehand, so you're asking questions to specifically answer a theme. Flipping the script on the qualitative side, you're asking questions to get as much information as you possibly can, and then you're drawing conclusions from the information.
Right.
Okay, that's why surveys are sometimes a little tougher to do, because if you don't ask if you don't ask the right question, you don't get the right information. But with having somebody sitting right across from you, just like we're doing now, just like I asked you a question a little earlier, and you started to go a little deeper and started to find the answers, that's what can happen. If I ask weak questions, I get weak answers. The only thing I can do is rewrite the whole thing and do it all over again. When you got somebody sitting in front of you, you can change the direction with a sub-question along the way. So those are the only two areas right there. Try and find a citation for the first one, and then find something for purposeful sampling. That's easy to find. That's on page 178. That's easy.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Change in the instrumentation. Change this right here to 10 to 15. Okay. All right. So once a day, a theoretical analysis. Okay. Data analysis, we're using a thematic comparison. I need that changed to thematic analysis. What is it? Thematic analysis with constant comparison.
Wait, thematic analysis with constant comparison.
Okay. Yeah. I got that up too. Okay. So I got, like I've said, when you're doing someone else's work, and basically you're doing Percy's work.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, catch up. Just the bottom. Come on. Is this the right one? Yeah, see, there's two. There's thematic analysis. This is the one you're doing right here, the thematic analysis with constant comparison.
Okay.
So this is when it's exactly like this right here. So as long as you're using that one, you're fine. But you want to use the exact words.
Okay.
So you're not confusing your reader. Okay. Fix that 10 to change that to 10 to 15.
Thank you.
Fix our spelling. Okay, so let's talk about your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Very, very generic.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I was to ask you those questions, do you think I could get enough information out of those 5 questions?
I mean, I do, but I don't know if I'm like just thinking I know what I want to be said.
That's what you have to fix.
Okay.
And that they're not going to be perfect right now, and I'm okay with that. But the idea is that right there is bias.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have to take yourself out when you're looking at the questions. You have to think that the person across from you, you know what's coming. You've been studying it. You're becoming an expert in this in some ways. The person across from you is not an expert. Okay. So like if you were to ask me a question about, let's see, how can we do this so I can make it click? There would be a much different scenario of you asking me the question of how long have I been running compared to how long have you ran?
Me?
How long have you been running?
Me? Like 4 months.
How much?
4 months.
4 months. I don't run. I wouldn't qualify for what you have. But we already have a relationship together, and you know me and I know you. The person across from you, you may not know.
Right.
So simple questions to start out with. We're talking about doing if you were actually going to do this, not what you have to put in here. Okay. You would talk about where would you like, questions such as, where are your favorite places to run? What kind of feelings do you get when you run? These are questions you may or may not use when you go to transcribe it. Okay. If you're going to do this as your actual capstone, you're going to need to come up with a series of maybe 3 or 4 simple questions that delve into their feelings of running. Okay. Simple things like, what kind of shoe do you use when you run? What is your favorite types of brands of shoes? Why? It's a simple question that goes to, I wear running shoes. I wear Hokas. They're $150 to $200. They're very important to my feet.
Mm-hmm.
Without them, when I do have to move a little bit faster, I have leg pain. So for me, to ask the question, what kind of shoes? Man, I use Hokas. They're soft. They're fit. Now all of a sudden, I have opened up the realm. Think of it this way. It would be like somebody walking up to you and starting to flirt with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That first initial reaction is always defensive. And as those walls break down, that person may not be able to move into your aura. And that's what you do. You want to move them into your aura. You want to get them relaxed enough that they're going to say everything they need to say as quickly as possible so you don't take up too much of their time.
Right.
So I'll give you an example. The guy I'm working with, my mentor and I are working at Concordia with this guy. He sent 29 questions to us for his capstone, for his dissertation. All I could hear it on the other end. I could hear pull. I could hear my mentor going pull. Psh. So like 29 is too many. 15 is too many. 7 to 10 is great. I did 15 because didn't know how or which direction it was going to go because there is no literature really out there on my topic. Now, there's lots of literature on your topic, okay? So how long have you been running? You answered 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you run?
To be in shape.
Just how many words was that?
Like 5.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So should I start with more like just like superficial questions and like even
Yes.
and then be like, how do you feel when you run? Like, can you explain more? Like,
So I'm going to ask that question again. Why do you run? Answer it the same way you did before.
yeah, just to be in shape.
To be in shape. Well, what does it mean for you to be in shape?
Okay. So.
You see how that question does not work?
Yeah.
Okay. It is a great question, but it is probably in the precursor questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is runner's high?
Yeah. I mean, okay. When I just reread these and I was like, I don't know if I would ask.
No, but tell me, what is runner's high?
So basically, a feeling you get when you're running where you feel like you could just go on forever.
Okay, now you got 15 words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does it take to reach runner's high?
Running to the point. Running a lot.
Okay. So let's go back to here.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of the study is to examine the phenomena of runner's high in college students. Okay. So when you're thinking about your questions,
Mm-hmm.
you just can't, you're focused more towards runner's high.
Yeah.
Rather than the experience of running.
Yeah.
So you've got to really focus in before you go to runner's high as to the other side of it, which is the experience of running, which is not really posted in here, but it really is your beginning focus of your questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, simple questions such as, have you ever experienced any injuries while running? Mm-hmm. Have you ever competed? Have you ever competed athletically running? Okay. Well, what happens if they say no? If that's a yes or no question, that's probably a good demographic question.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you go through, if you can then generate take that same question and generate toward a yes or no type question as you're in the question. So you already know from there that they have not done competitive. Why have you not? What are some of the reasons why you have not competed in, let's say, a 5K, a 10K, or whatever?
Yeah. So
those are good precursor questions to build on it. So when you're done, you take those 2 questions, a yes, no, and decide if it's something you want to talk about. Because what would happen if the no's all felt like they hit runner's high and all the yeses said no or didn't really have the idea?
Yeah.
So like when you get to that runner's high part, you're going to have to probably precursor it with what runner's high really is. And basically what it is really getting in the zone.
Yeah.
So when it comes time to do your lit review, okay, whether you go qualitative or quantitative because you're in the same area, this is a real big factor for you, and a very large portion of your lit review, which is going to save you a ton of time, is if you become an expert in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I'm sure I have his work here. Hold on. See if it comes up. Oh, I know what I. Oh no. Letter C, please. Letter C. No vowel. Okay. Can you see this on the board?
Yeah. Or are you still on my lit review? I mean, not my lit
No, I'm on my paper. Can you see it?
No. Oh, wait. No, I can't.
Nope. Okay, hold on. You see it now?
Yeah. There's a bunch of references.
See that name right there?
Yeah.
You see, is there another one up here? See how many he's got?
Yeah.
Playing it, Flow, the Psychology of Optimal Experience. I don't know if this is in the library, but that's something you need to read.
Okay.
It's not a hard read. It's a very good read because you like the idea of the runner's high.
Yeah.
He is the guy. He's the guru. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Flow, creativity, finding flow. This is another one. Flow, the psychology, the optical. Oh, that's another book. That's a different year. Okay. Let's see who else. Let me see. No, there's another offering right out of the top of my head. Where is it? Names like they're on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Jackson. So it's Jackson and Chickamahaley or something like that. Those two authors, Flow and Sports, Keys to Optimal Experiences and Performances. Those are the two main authors, and they have lots of articles and everything else, and they got a couple books. But you could probably write 5 to 7 pages easy, just on flow, optimal experience, and go into positive psychology.
Yeah.
Because positive psychology is in the realm, but getting in the zone is really one of the theories. And you got to have at least 1 or 2 theories in there. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, let's see. Let me go back to yours now. Let's see.
No, that's really good to know.
And I'll copy and paste that and send it to you in an email.
Thank you.
Where were we? So, these questions are okay. Take a look and see if you can come up with a few others.
Okay.
And then we'll be good with that.
Cool.
Okay. Be it that if you were to go with this or go with your other one, you're going to, hopefully by the time that you go to do this, you'll have a greater knowledge. You're going to stay in that realm to go. You have from now until the spring to get as much research done as possible and reading done as possible, which means those questions are going to be a lot easier to work with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Can I ask you really quick, in terms of the capstone, do you think it's better to do effects of exercise and stress or effects of exercise in college students or runner's high if I want to stick with one of them?
It's a crapshoot. I think that now that we've kind of done this,
Yeah.
I think that runner's high is too basic.
Yeah.
I would think that if you did the exercise and stress, you would still be using the same theory, because to alleviate stress, you have to running alone doesn't take away the stress.
Yeah.
You have to move to a place,
Yeah.
and that place is still the runner's high. Now, it could be like REM sleep where you only hit it for a minute, but it may be enough. So if you were to move this to stress and running, you could do the same qualitative and just make some little adjustments here and there, change your purpose statement, and the research philosophy doesn't really change. You would just say that you just add in that you've experienced stress, and is what you really wanted to find out if running, what the experience of running does to alleviate stress. Okay. And the ethics portion is fine.
Okay. And then I fixed the consent form.
Oh, I know what we're missing. I caught it and I forgot. Your interview guide has to have a name, just like the other one did.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So in here, okay, right about here, right before the primary researcher, the interview guide. The interview guide is called the blank, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Okay. And then, or I would probably change this to interview guide.
Cool. And then put the title in there.
Okay. And then open up with a paragraph, a simple paragraph, short, it's got to be more than 3 lines. So whatever you do, the primary researcher, I know what, start out with your purpose statement again.
Okay.
The purpose of the study of this, the following questions were designed to answer the purpose statement. Or do you want to put the research questions? Are your research questions in here?
Yeah. Or no, it's not.
Oh, we need to add those.
Wait, is it? Okay.
Hold on. Oh. Yeah. Did I let that go? I sure did.
No, yeah, I don't.
Why? That was bad, Professor. Okay. The research question would be, what are the experiences of
Runners high and college students?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Where do you want me to add that?
That goes right after the purpose statement.
Okay.
I missed that one. Okay, so you just add that in, and do a new heading like I have here.
Yeah.
Okay, and put in research question. So you start with your purpose statement, then bring in your research question, and then the final question that leads into the 5 questions. Okay.
Would you mind emailing me this copy too?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And then let's see the purpose. Okay. Right here after this, You want to put the name of your the name of your,
Okay.
and you're good.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, cool. And then the PowerPoint is just like the other one, but you said we had to add one slide to it. What was that again?
Researcher's philosophy.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
Did you see everything else is the same?
Okay, great.
Okay. Little things that will help you when you get to that next step. Okay. I have 3 of you that well, 2.5 that I would say that are going to be right on track when you walk in the door, unless they've made some changes.
Yeah.
Okay. You can always call if you have any questions.
Oh, I definitely will.
The focus is in your next, from now until that class starts, it's all about research.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about anything else. Okay. Stay with your main concepts. If you're going to change it, go ahead and start changing it now.
Yeah.
If you want to do it qualitative on this, the methodology is not going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's locked in. You should be fine. You should be fine with the methodology. Okay, and then formulating you already know how to formulate a research question now, and or questions, so you can still do the runner's high. So your first research question would be, what are the experiences of running and stress, or would be what are the experiences of college students who alleviate stress by running. Okay. The second one, an additional purpose would be to examine the experiences of runners high in alleviating stress. That way you're bringing in the runner's high still, because that's still, in my opinion, one of the most important parts. And that's the part that when I was doing my research, because that's what I love, is my talent as a coach was always getting the most out of my kids and getting them to get to that golden moment when everything just comes together in that. And that's one of the reasons why I really focused in on that, was because I already knew a little bit about it, but I just expanded my knowledge on anything that had to do with getting into the zone. Okay. So when, I think in my literature review, positive psychology, what else? What's the other one? Getting in the zone, and that was probably about 7 or 8 pages.
Yeah. No, I think that's like really interesting too. The whole getting in the flow and getting in the zone. Like, I don't know. I think that would actually be really fun to study.
So that's, that leaves you 12 pages for everything else.
Yeah.
The running portion and whatever other topics you can find along the way. So the best thing to do is make sure that you have a list, because you've got a long period of time here. Making sure that you have a list and you're keeping all of your citations in order. Because 8 months from now, you'll never remember that way back when. Right. So making sure that you have all your citations in order. Yeah. That way, when you start to write, you can draw a great outline and bang out 20 pages in no time at all. And that's what the real focus here is now changing this in the last statement to, okay, now you have a topic that you really want to go with. Now start doing your research, and for the next 6 to 8 months, just go and spend as much time as you can extra, even if it's just a little bit every day, of just going out and searching for stuff on the zone and different things and running and that. And then it's easier to build an outline from what you have in your arsenal than it is to try and make it up in that 15 weeks. That's where everybody in that class is having a problem, is that there's nothing prepared. You're starting at square one on week 1, and you're trying to build your IRB, come back and try and do once you got your topic approved, then you got to do your lit review, which means you're researching. So give you my example. When I did my comps, I had 28 days to write maximum of 50 pages. Wow. 3 different questions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Of those questions, I knew nothing on any of the topics. They were random type deal. They gave you a list of about 100, and he picked 3. I gave him my areas of expertise, and he gave me 3. Well, the second one down, have you ever heard of mindful meditation?
No.
Okay. So basically, it's basically going into your inner self and teaching yourself to be able to calm yourself down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I knew nothing on that topic.
Yes.
So in 28 days, I had to learn actually 9 different subjects in those 3 questions.
Wow.
And then write it up.
Yeah.
So every week I had to research 2 or 3 topics in each one, write my notes, and then at the end of the week try and write up as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I bombed my first time because I did, in my opinion, I did great.
Yeah.
In 28 days, it really helped me for the second time. Well, the second time through, they changed it to more of a qualitative and quantitative type deal, working within your possible dissertation topic. So you basically wrote a lit review for your topic. So there's 3 questions. It was a 10-page lit review. I nailed that bad boy.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was more in the realm of research methods and everything else. I had no problem with that one. But the first one really taught me how to break it down. And I got all the citations. I got everything I needed. It just wasn't enough because I just didn't know enough. So your key is when you walk in the door is to be able to be focused on already having what you have and then once it's approved, or if they approve it and they make the change a little bit, you're still going to be able to keep a lot of that lit review.
Right.
But you're going to be working while everybody else is scrambling.
Cool.
Okay? That's my dream. If it works, really, I've only got 2 people that I know it's really working for. When you get to that capstone, if it works, I know I did it right.
Yeah.
My next goal for this class is I'm trying to get it to where it is in the fall.
Yeah.
Right before your capstone.
That would have been really nice, actually.
And I'm trying to get, and my proposal is I want it to be 2 8-week classes. The first 8 weeks, you learn how you're going to make your decisions on whether you're going qualitative and quantitative. Understanding that, you're going to learn how to do a lit review.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second 8 weeks, you're writing your IRB.
Yeah.
And at the end of the IRB, to get the A, your IRB has to be approved to the point where if it's approved with revisions, then you're done. You got it.
And then you can just
walk into class, you're already ready to go. Or by the end of the first 8 weeks, your IRB is done, and the second 8 weeks, you're learning how to research and break down and write a basic lit review. And I think that would be more beneficial as a whole.
Yeah, I would have loved for this to be in the fall, like right before my capstone.
Yeah, it's like I got to ask questions because I got some guys in my stats class that are freshmen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you're putting a freshman in the stats class, and they're not going to see their capstone for another 4 years.
Yeah.
So, it's one of the questions I have because I thought it was supposed to be much later. See, I think we should be doing stats right now, and then in the fall, you do your research methods class.
And then capstone. Because
then you'd have an idea what stats are. You break into this, but if I did it in 2 8-week sessions, basically it would be a semester. I could probably do it even at that, but at the last portion, you would have 4 weeks to prepare your IRB, or 4 or 5 weeks, and those last couple weeks are revisions, and you could be done with your IRB walking into the capstone class.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
And then you would have, on the backside, you would have probably an outline and plenty of research and a lot of your APA. You'd understand a little better about APA. And when you went in there, you're just now focused on writing and going. So I think I'm on the right lines now. It's just getting them to fix it, but it probably won't be able to be fixed for 2 years. So.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. So
Do you want me to resubmit this or email it to you whenever it's done?
No. You can.
Okay.
Yeah. And then text me that it's there and I'll take a look at it.
Okay, cool.
What email? What is this? Hold on. Move or copy this. No, I don't want to do that.
Okay, so I just resubmit it to Populi and let you know?
No, just email it to me.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
And then I'll probably send you the PowerPoint when I finished it. And then I just I might need a little bit of help on like the talking points. But I think I actually have an email of you telling me what to say for the PowerPoint, so maybe I can find that.
For what?
The PowerPoint, like how you were saying, like the most important part is like what you're saying while the PowerPoint's running. So
remember that just the outline's already there.
Yeah.
But remember, it's just, you're just giving me three of the three best title and citation, and you're going to talk about each of the three. Researcher's philosophy. To me, that's kind of like a bullet point.
Yeah.
Just bullet point the major, and as simple as my background, what I bring to the study on the screen. Purpose statements, copy and paste. Research question, copy and paste. Remember, and then just follow the rest of them. Each of them are separate. You can talk about your participants, 10 to 15 participants till it's saturation. The slide has your questions on it. So if you just do a mock-up and send it to me, yeah, you know this. You've done well. So
Okay.
and this is IRB. I just sent it to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Let me know if you don't get it.
Okay, I will.
All right. Coolio. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. Stop sharing and meeting.